That's it, guys, let's do it. Resume. Oh, hello, Watson. So last time, I was trying to find where the murder was. Can't go that way.
Watson, we are now in the exact spot where poor Eddowes tragically ended her days.
Here we go.
This spot is very dark, Holmes.
That is probably why our murderer chose it. Do these objects spread out by the victim remind us of anything, Watson?
Clothes, yes. The items have always got something in their hand, like a distraction, but
A thimble is located right beside one of the victim's hands, just like Chapman's sachet of pills and Stride's pastils.
let's keep going.
The inside of the thighs is clean. Once again, there were no sexual relations between the victim and her murderer. Part of this apron is missing. We will follow up on that shortly.
Hey, welcome, Nick. So, V-Man, just want to say hi. Can't stay, bro. My internet is shit. I was angry. Damn. Sorry to hear that, Nick. I hope they fix that.
The main incision goes from the
As soon
sternum
as-
all the way down to the groin. The murderer opened this abdomen as if it were an animal carcass. A kidney was removed. The uterus was removed.
Anything else over here?
The head is turned towards the left. The murderer must have been on the right side of his victim. Let's look at her from the front.
Wow. Look at that. Look at those eyes. Holy crap. She looks wrecked.
The eyelids were cut off. The nose was cut. The cheeks were slashed to make them thinner. The nose was cut. The cheeks were slashed to make them thinner. There is but one wound, Watson. It goes from the left side and descends in a slight oblique towards the right side.
I think that might be it. I think that's it.
These intestines were pulled out altogether to grant access to the abdomen.
My goodness, Holmes, it was a slaughter.
Understand, Watson, that our killer had neither the time nor the conditions to bother with the niceties. He had no more than 7 or 8 minutes at most to kill the woman, open her up, and all the while in total darkness.
Holmes, it's a woman, a poor victim you're talking about.
Consider all the time this man lost and the risks that he actually took by cutting the victim's face and the lower abdomen in around 20 precise spots, especially the lungs and the liver. These attacks, which I considered gratuitous, are in fact nothing of the sort and have as much sense as the removal of the organs. Watson, we must now consult our timeline. We began in Dutfield's yard, but this time we will try to recreate the actions of certain people, in this case, those of the 2 policemen.
Oh. Have I got to do a timeline? I don't want to do this yet. I don't think we finished. Let's go. Done that way. Is it this way?
I have no reason to go that way.
think it's this way.
Nothing of interest here.
Okay, so I can't do that. I think I came from that way. That's where the murder took place.
Nothing of interest here.
Can't go that way.
I have no reason to go that way.
Nothing down there. Okay, so what do I have to do? So I need to, I think, just walk around, I think.
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay, so nothing there. Already done that. Nothing here.
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay, nothing that way.
Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
Do we have to deduct the timeline? I might have to. No, not that. I'll come back to that. I'm sure I'm missing something.
I have no reason to go that way.
So I can't go that way. And then everything to the left. Nothing there. It's where the murder took place. Nothing there.
Nothing of interest here.
So I must be missing something. I guess I have to do the timeline. I thought I missed something, but never mind. So oh, yeah.
1:30 a.m. PC Watkins didn't see the corpse while on his rounds. If PC Watkins did his rounds properly, and there is no reason to doubt this was the case, as he discovered the corpse a quarter of an hour later, the murder hadn't yet taken place, and there was no one in Mitre Square, unless they were hidden among the shadows. Enter Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where poor Edow's corpse was.
I have no reason to go that way.
So there's Sherlock, where he's supposed to be.
I have no reason to go that way.
You can barely see it, so he's right.
I have no reason to go that way.
Enter Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where poor Edow's corpse was.
Mitre Street. Which one's Mitre Street?
I have no reason to go that way.
Nothing there. St James's Passage.
I see you, Holmes.
Perfect, Watson. Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
Okay. So, same place.
Very good, Watson. Thus we can categorically state that the murder had not yet occurred at 1:30.
So 1:35.
1:35 a.m. A man and a woman are arguing at the entrance of Church Passage. The man came from Aldgate.
Here we go.
1:42 a.m. PC Harvey arrives in Mitre Square. It should be noted, Watson, that the
Hey,
constable
SP,
didn't
welcome,
enter
buddy.
Mitre Square.
Welcome.
He could not have seen the corpse lying on the ground. But would he have been able
Oh,
to
tell
see a
you how,
man
SP.
sitting or standing?
Hey,
Go to the Church
that's all.
Passage
Welcome.
entrance, then come back and try to
Welcome,
see me
welcome,
while
we
holding your lantern.
legends.
I will stay at the spot where the victim was discovered.
I can finally see you. Yay! Welcome, guys. Oh damn, I missed what he was just saying. Crap. Doesn't matter.
I see you, Holmes.
There we go.
You had to proceed into the square in order to see me,
Oh,
something
Telly
Harvey
House, the
didn't
one.
do.
Be right
It is
back, gonna
possible that
grab
the
some
killer was still
food.
there.
Okay, SB.
1:42 a.m. PC Harvey arrives at Mitre Square but does not go in. The murderer may well have still been there.
Okay. So it's this one. 1:44.
1:44 a.m. The body is discovered. Let's put the murder of poor Eddowes on
Hey,
the
welcome,
timeline,
Kev.
Watson.
No worries with the caps. It's all good. Between 1:35 and 1:42.
1:35 and 1:42 a.m. The murder would appear to have taken place between these times, that is to say, within 7
Hey, thanks for
minutes.
doing that, Russell.
Agreed, Holmes. But does this really prove that our killer had the time to perpetrate these two murders?
Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
So it took them 20 minutes to get here. So it should be 1 to 1:20, I think.
There, Watson.
There.
We are now certain that the murderer really had the time to commit these 2 murders.
Incredible.
Let's look at our deduction board, Watson.
That's it. Just spam it. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Sato, it's nice for you guys to pass by. I know that Hosh is streaming, so as well. So I appreciate you guys coming to a game that's completely different to Resident Evil 6. Okay. The items are meant for a woman. These belong to the whipped and the murder is a woman. These objects were before the murder. I think that's it. Oh, thanks, Vatsal. Hoshi Glenny RE6. I actually have RE6 on the PS4, but I haven't really played it. I've played the tutorial, if that's the correct word, and that's it. Actually, I'm missing one. That's it. Okay. So you just spam these in, it doesn't matter. Okay. The murder was beyond the victim. No. Want to decapitate? No. It was fierce and instantaneous. That's correct. Let's have a look. Should be that. Should be that one. Say green. That's it. Nice. Okay. I notice in these sections there's absolutely no audio at all, which is kind of weird. See, it's absolutely dead silent. They should at least put something on the background. Really. Ooh. I think it's the middle one. Yep. So you can't really make any mistakes because it's one of these. It would automatically go green. There you go. So that's one row done. Yeah, so there we go. I haven't got to do nothing here. It's only the click down boxes we can actually, do something. So it should be that one. Nice. That one. Should be one more and that should be it.
This spot is making me nauseous. Can we not head back, Holmes?
We certainly can't, Watson. We have one final point to address. Do you remember the piece of white apron that was missing just now? It was found just a few steps away from here, at the entrance of a building. That's where we must go.
Okay, so where's that? Where do I have to go? Unless there was a ripe. Oh,
Let's go.
let's go, chaps. Go, go, go. Oh, new section.
There's the spot, Watson. By night,
All these
Galston Street is
clues.
deathly silent, which will permit us
It's
to carry out a
deductions.
fair few experiments.
I'll
Let's
bring it
find
back
the
up in a
entrance
second.
where the piece of the victim's apron and the mysterious chalk message were found.
Yeah, where we going now is where, basically, there's where I just came from, where she was murdered. There's missing a piece of clothing, and where I'm about to go now is where they found the piece of clothing. I'll show you. This is from evidence. We can work out. You're deducting what happened. That's all that is. So let's go. So I need to go.
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street. Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street.
I think it's this one.
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street.
It's around here somewhere. Here we go.
There's the spot where the apron and the message were found by PC Long. Now, let's recreate the scene. Remember, Watson, it was raining that night. Find me something with which to mimic raindrops hitting this wall while I write something with my chalk.
The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. But what does it mean?
So now I control Watson.
Have you found something for us to pour water from, Watson?
Find a container and some water. Let me remind you that it's night time and the street is deserted, Holmes.
So we need to find the stuff, basically, for what Sherlock's after.
Water.
So there's water.
I have no reason to go that way. That may come in handy. Who knows? That may come in handy. Who knows?
Anything else?
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay, so there's nothing else that way. So items. Nope, nothing to do with that. Got it. Okay, that's all. Oh, tally-ho, peeps, I'm back. Oh, tally-ho, Keviator. You have no reason for you, man. What do you mean I have no reason? What are you talking about? Oh, wrong button. Right button. I need to find... You have no reason to GG. You mean I've got no reason to get good? What do you mean? Okay. There's something here, I'm missing it. I'm after something that holds water. Look for something like a bucket or anything that can hold water. I can't see anything. Yep, you have no reason to kick. I love how you use A. So that's where the rope was. I think there was the hook. I'm gonna be such a noob if I walk straight past it. Okay. What's all that about? Can anybody see anything? Here is the water I need.
Water.
Water. I need something that can hold it. I'm gonna lose my marbles. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. 'Cause this box must mean something. Don't know what though.
A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it. A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it.
So what am I missing? So that's what I was meant to do.
A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it. A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it.
Yo, Mr. X, welcome. Oh, have you tried going into a bar and grabbing something maybe to hold it? I think I'm supposed to use one of the equipment I found. probably missing something. Here we go.
An old wooden pole. A merchant probably threw it out.
Now, this is what I was missing. There we go. Items, that.
A watering can. A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it.
Items. There we go. Elementary Watson. Nice. Now water, which is this way. Items. Okay.
Have you found something for us to pour water from, Watson?
Yes. Oh, I have Holmes.
Yes, I have, Holmes.
There. Yes, I have Holmes.
What do you think, Holmes?
Now what do I need to do?
What do you think, Holmes?
Okay.
If this message were written by
Here
the
we go.
killer, then it would have been lying in this entrance for up to 35 minutes before being discovered. Let's find out in what state it must have been. This message could not have withstood an entire night in the rain. During the investigations carried out on the night of the double murder, PC Hulse inspected the entrances of this street around 2:20 a.m. and confirmed to have seen nothing out of the ordinary. At 2:55 a.m., 35 minutes later, PC Long found Catherine Edow's piece of apron and the message in chalk. This message would not have withstood a whole night in the rain, as had I continued to water it for a little longer, I would certainly have erased it. It was written, therefore, at the moment when the piece of apron was dumped. This substantiates PC Hulse's statement, which stated he had seen neither of these during his rounds. After its discovery, it was guarded and protected from the rain, which was subsiding, which explains why it was still legible when it was erased at 5:30. My dear Watson, when you met PC Smith on his rounds in the street, where was he? On the pavement or in the middle of the road?
In the middle of the road, Holmes, without a shadow of a doubt.
Good. You will go down the street with your lantern as if you were a policeman on patrol, using Smith's position as a guide. As soon as you see the entrance where I used the watering can, tell me if you see anything.
So all we're doing is basically reenacting.
No, you aren't in the right spot with the lamp, Watson.
Oh, shut up, Holmes.
There, Holmes. From here, I can see something written.
Can you read it?
No.
Do you see the white rag, Watson? No, you aren't in the right spot with the lamp, Watson.
Okay, like, chill.
No, you aren't in the right spot with the lamp, Watson.
Come on, Sherlock, stop being
I see
stupid.
something on the ground, but I'm not sure if it's what you were talking about.
Okay.
PC Long, who found the piece of apron, was examining the interior of the entrances, and yet nobody would have predicted that this piece of material would be discovered on the very night of the murder by a policeman on patrol.
What are you trying to get at, Holmes?
Let's look at this message on the wall, Watson. The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. In other words, the Jews were possibly blamed for nothing, but that will no longer be the case. Reading this message naturally begs one question. What would that be, Watson?
Why?
Indeed, Watson, why? For what reason would one have the right to blame the Jews in the future? Remember, Lestrade was killed near a club for socialist Jews, Eddowes not far from a synagogue and the Imperial Club, and finally, this piece of apron dropped here. This building is occupied by Jewish families. The killer really did go out of his way to incriminate the Jews living in the area.
It's a bit obvious, Holmes.
Yes, but with the rumors, Watson, the author of this message would have received a response to his strategy.
You are right, Holmes. So perhaps it's a good thing this message was erased.
Whoever took the decision to do this is a man of great wisdom and courage. Let's return to Baker Street, Watson. I have some pipes to smoke to help me think more clearly.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home.
Here we go, what's SB wrote? I reckon they know who the Ripper is. They're pretty sure. You saying Watson, you saying Holmes need to get good. Good. Don't worry, they're progressing to the get good status. Back to Baker Street. Doo-dum.
I had nightmares all night, Holmes. As for you, I bet you didn't get a wink of sleep, did you? It's this chalk message business, isn't it?
Among other things.
And this lunatic is still running free. If only we knew what he looked like.
But we do know, Watson. We have a fairly accurate description.
I must have missed an episode of your adventures, Holmes. Not only have I heard you discredit the value of our eyewitnesses, but the few descriptions we do have don't seem to correspond.
An inaccurate account can regain its value if we can discover why and to what extent the truth must be rewritten. We've learned a great many things tonight, and I'm able to tell you what our man looks like.
Really?
Yes, and we're going to need a few things, Watson. Find me 3 mannequins, my worker's costume, my 3 full wigs, one of your worn garments, yes, that can be used for the workman's outfit, and one of your old suits. Oh, and my deer stalker, the one I never wear, but everyone seems to think I wear day and night.
Okay, so let's go to Watson's room. Watson needs to tidy up. Messy bugger.
We shall place our mannequins here, Watson. So, as for one of the murders, we have no witnesses whatsoever. As for the 3 other, we have at least one person who claims to have seen the victims talking to a man a few minutes before their death. Do you remember whom these would be, Watson?
I don't want to do this yet. I want to find all the stuff. That's it. So, let's find all of the stuff. Just stealing everything. Everything. I'll just take it all.
A wig. This will come in handy.
This will come in handy. He's got a 6-shooter in his jaw. Is this it? I think this might be it. Okay. I love the Sherlock Holmes movies 1 and 2. I think they're going to make a 3rd one. Oh, you mean I'm making a cuppa? Nice and welcome. Yeah, well, there's been the word they've been making the third one for years because the first one with Robert Downey Jr. was 2009. The second one was 2011. It's like it's already been 8 years. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. It's gonna take a little bit to work out. So I need to dialogues. Should be it. Yeah. You've got to click the select. Should be 30. Should be this one. And this one. Height, I think it's short. Oh.
Indeed, Watson,
There we
that's
go.
the right size for Abraham's mannequin. The account given by Mr. Solomonovich's friend is incorrect
Yeah, oh,
in
yeah,
at least
yeah.
one point. The
So
first
many
Joseph
ups.
said that the man was at least 5'7" tall. The second Joseph said he was 3 inches taller than the victim, whom we know was 5 feet tall, which would suggest a height of 5'3". Don't forget that it was this second Joseph who attracted his friend's attention towards the couple on the other side of the road. We can assume he got a very good look at them.
Oh yeah, Kev, if you can, tea 2 sugars, please. Not too strong, not too weak, thanks. If you don't mind. My height is 5'3". That's not too bad. I'm 5'10". Yeah. So SBs, what T1 sugar? I'll have T2, please. Thanks. Cons, I'm 27 feet tall. So Con's a giant, and welcome, dude. Welcome, Con. Slancher. Okay, so should be this one. Dustfield Yard. So this is, so what we're making now is the eyewitness report of him. So he's, I think the guy was 26, 27, 26 I think. He was a bit taller. Something like that. Oh, I've missed something.
Excellent. Now, on to the next step.
That's it. Ooh. Okay. I think it's this one. I think that's the one, yeah. Dark brown, ginger. So it should be brown. Brown hat. I think so. So it should be
Perfect, Watson.
.6'4". Oh, okay, I'm a penguin. Don't worry, Ratso, you're not the shortest. If Croc was here, she's the shortest. Croc and Trish, I think. Yeah, this on Mr. X is... See, one of these three is from their eyewitness reports, is what they think the killer looked like. Or somebody who was close. That's all that is. Then it took you like 5 minutes to log in and out. Now, 5'3". Oops, sorry. So we need a testimony. Elong. I need to find a testimony. That's the one.
Bravo, Watson. There are our 3 witnesses. As for young P.C. Smith's account, he must have been mistaken about this person's real height. It is only an inch or 2 after all, and we can attribute the same height as the other 2.
So it's actually the same. So he's gonna show.
There we are. Magnificent.
Magnificent. Elementary Holmes. Oh. 6'4". Holy smokes! I'm 2'9". Nah. Oh good. Yeah, that is his alt. The Turv 76, is it? Yeah, Turv 76. Turvy's proper life nickname, and he's on my phone. So when I leave PC, I have to use that. But now I'm aiming to change it. Winner. Caps. Hey, no worries with the caps. It's all good. No problemo. This should be 40. It's the green suit.
Bravo, Watson. Our mannequins have been
Nice,
recreated
bravo.
based on the correct accounts. Now, Watson, let's see in what ways these statements differ and how the witnesses could have been mistaken. Let's look at these wigs and moustaches. Let's start by taking the first Joseph's testimony, who saw the man head-on in a well-lit spot and in which he noted fair hair. Now, let's consider the same person, but in the lighting and angle of the other two witnesses, in the darkness of night with poor artificial lighting from above. Put out the light, Watson.
So what it is, we now have to turn the lights off.
Thus, poor
There we go.
lighting and a backlit subject can affect our perception of shades and colours. The wigs from Abraham's mannequin took on the same colour as the other two. The three testimonies, therefore,
Yeah,
don't
indeed,
contradict
SP,
one
yeah.
another, and we can apply the same facial hair to all three mannequins. Turn on the light, Watson. Okay, Watson, let's give all of our mannequins the same hair.
Okay. So we're going to get more blonde, I think.
Yes, I have, Holmes.
Well done, Watson. With regards to the murderer's hair, the three witnesses should agree on Abraham's testimony. As Joseph is the only one who saw our man in full light, his hair must therefore be fair. You see, Watson, it is hard to draw objective conclusions when one is an eyewitness to an event. This leads us to reconsider the various statements regarding the supposed age of the man.
Are
Even
you?
if you are face to face
you
with
buffing
someone in
again,
full light
Rattle?
and for a period of several hours, to what extent can you determine their exact age? And even more so if you observe them for only a few seconds and or from behind. We must allow some flexibility when considering our witnesses' statements, but always scientific flexibility.
So it's buffing again. I can't help that. I've already lowered the bit rate. Is this puzzle matching two mannequin with a testimony mannequin? Essentially, yes. They should all match. Because only one person saw the face of the killer. So Sherlock is doing his stuff to match him. Okay. Oh, here we go. So 25 to 35. Tolerance of 3 to 5 years, so not much. So it should be, I think it's 26, 34, yeah, and then the same 27 to 33, so slightly less.
Perfect, Watson.
Okay, there's one. So this is the age range to get basically as close as possible. So 7 to 10, 7 to 10. So be 27, 30, 35, I think. Nope. Sorry, 16 and 35. Sorry, 70. So, and then less, so higher there, so that should be 18 and 34. 18, 34, and then 19 and 33. 19 and 30.
There we are. Magnificent.
Nice. So 1350. Wow. Okay, that's a big. It's kind of a pattern. If you get the first one right, the next one below, put the numbers one closer, and then the one below one more closer. So it's not too difficult. Oh, sorry, Ratzel. At least you managed to catch a bit of it. Nice to hear you again. Oh, thanks, and I'll catch you later. I'm really sorry, Ratzel. So I've dropped the beat rate more. Just give me a second, guys. Oh, I'm being hosted. Nice. Yeah, Twitch needs using much internet connection than YouTube. Yes and no. It just depends, because YouTube you can pick. It'd be good if they implement that properly one day, instead of you being stuck with the streamers one. This should be 31. And like say YouTube, you can pick what you want. So there should be 32, 48. 32, 48, and then 33, 47.
There we are. Magnificent.
Yes, I have, Holmes.
Now that we have fully considered the witness accounts, let's see to what extent they agree. If we apply the range of error for each of our dummies, we can deduce the age of our murderer as precisely as possible.
It should be 33.
Perfect, Watson.
Nice.
Within a margin of 1 year, Watson, the age of our murderer is 33 years.
But the man described by Smith was dressed respectably, whereas the other two were poorly dressed.
Indeed, but Whitechapel's respectively could quite easily describe the Sunday bests that all lower-class men own. Now, let's place ourselves in the shoes of Liz Stride's killer. He has just slain his victim and sees Louis Diemschutz discover her body. Our killer is at great risk if he stays in the area. He therefore gets away from this spot. But he wants to kill again. However, he might have been spotted in the area before having committed the murder by a constable on his round, perhaps, who managed to get his description. What do you think the killer will do?
What will Jack the Ripper do after committing the first murder in Duftfield Yard before committing the second in Mitre Square? So now we'd basically have to match these together. But one thing I've noticed about Twitch, I can watch people who like 1080p streams and the highest bit rate. I have no issues watching that at all. Okay. So we need to match these properly.
Go back home or to a safe location, change his clothes and leave again in search of another victim.
Nice.
It's the only possible explanation, Watson. The man returned to the safety of his lodgings and then decided to go out again with new clothes and repeat his sinister nocturnal work. That's how the discrepancies between the witnesses with regards to clothing can be explained.
What a cold-blooded animal.
And what determination! Powerful motives are pushing this man. Thus, we can conclude that the respectable man with the package may very well have been seen by the two Josephs.
Even if it is just a mannequin, it's giving me goosebumps. But have we really made any progress, Holmes? I mean, there must be thousands of men in Whitechapel who match this description, wouldn't you say?
You're right, Watson. We have worked on who, now let's work on where. We need a map of Whitechapel, and please also find me a pencil, 2 compasses, one of which can draw ellipses.
Okay, oops.
We'll need a map, Watson.
I am in need of something.
I'm in need of something. Pen, paper, magic. So, okay, I've got nothing there. So what do I need?
Have you assembled all of our material, Watson?
Nope. What do I need? I need the map.
I am in need of something.
Anything here? Don't do that yet. Exit. What am I missing? What am I missing? I don't think it's that. I only need like a pencil and something. Idiot. Such an idiot. Items.
First of all,
Here we
let's
go.
place our 4 murders on this map, as well as the spot where the graffito appeared and the piece of apron was dropped.
Okay. So basically we just gotta make, let's put on, so Annie Chapman was Hanby Street. So Elizabeth Stride was Dutfield's Yard. 2. Should be Bucks Row. So it's quite a gap. So one man went through all these. So it's not close. Like it's not close at all. So Catherine, she was in Mitre Square. Graffito should be Goulston Street.
Perfect, Watson. Let's
Yes.
connect each crime scene to the one out of the others that is the furthest.
Okay. It's like too late in the evening to do all these puzzles. It's too much brain power. Okay, so some of these should overlap. Should. Okay, we've got the pencil. Okay, that should be that. Duftfield to Hanbury Street. Should be that, I think. So it should be. Okay, so it should be flat. So let's go to... That should be it. All these are connected. Reset it. So pencil.
You see, Watson, the murders aren't grouped together, but seem to be spread out like cardinal points around a central zone. The killer obviously wanted to avoid returning to the previous scenes of his crimes, assuming that they would be more closely watched, or that he could be recognized.
So the killer lives at the centre of this cross.
In the vicinity, most certainly, but how near? We cannot afford to get it wrong. If you concentrate, Watson, you will notice that the murders are roughly equidistant from the intersection point of the diagonals. Let's focus on the night of the double murder. Remember, Watson, it took us 20 minutes to get from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square. Let's draw a line from one to the other. Perfect. We didn't make the trip as the crow flies, but that would not harm our estimate. Let's suppose the killer left Dutfield's Yard at 1 a.m. and arrived in Mitre Square at 1:35 a.m. when he was seen by the two Josephs. If he took 5 minutes to change his clothes, that leaves a range of 10 minutes to determine where this man's lodgings are. We must determine the area in which one can go from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. To do this, let's draw an ellipsis. The length between Dutfield's Yard and Mitre Square corresponds to 20 minutes. By adding half, we get a distance of 30 minutes. By taking the two right segments, each starting from the two murder scenes, and which the sum of the lengths makes 30 minutes, we get our ellipses.
Okay. I think I'm gonna do it right. No. I think that's it. That's it, okay. I think then you have to click it and then spread out. Oops, sorry. I think that's it. Oh, no. That's it. Oof. Now what do I have to do? Ah, so you can erase it. I'm sure that's what I have to do. Can't do that yet. Sure, it's something like that. I'm still here, V-Man, installing a 1.4 version of the new threat mod into FF7. Got from Sega Chief. Ah, okay, gotcha. So that's that. Nothing you got to do from there to there. No, that's not right. What am I doing wrong? Because normally when you get something right, it gives you like the that's it. So there's that. So I'm being a bit noobish, guys. It's an earlier patch. Okay, okay. Yeah, I know Sega Chief's the guy from Scotland's doing it, but I'm not that clued up on it. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Obviously I'm not doing it on the right section. Should be something like that. God, am I missing? Trace an ellipse which goes from Dustfield Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. From Dustfield Yard to Mitre Square. I have done. I might have to Google this, guys. The puzzle's getting harder again. Yeah. It's quite finicky. You have to get it quite correct. Just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to pull it. See, this here is the overlap section. It should be that. See where these overlap? But I haven't done it. I haven't got the circles correct. I think I'll have to Google this, guys. Ellipses. Just bear with me. I don't want to spend all night trying to find one section. Okay, I'll just click a YouTube video. Mine was the same. Okay. No, the video I watched, this worked perfect. I think I just got bad luck today with this. You need perfect placement. Because what I'm doing is correct. Stop. This is such BS. Come on, let me do it. It should work. I might have to go wider. Okay, wider. From what I quickly just read, a lot of people have had problems with this section. Because as soon as you open it, Holmes is meant to say it's correct. What I'm doing is correct. But as soon as you get it correct, Holmes speaks.
There we are, Watson.
There you go.
Our killer lives in this area.
It's still rather a vast area, Holmes.
Yes,
There we go.
indeed. And our goal is to reduce this area as much as we can. We must consider the fact that the murder at Mitre Square was committed under a certain amount of pressure, given that the killer knew he was wanted for the acts he committed not long before. We can assume that he had to do it in a safe zone, that is, an area not far from where he lives. This is especially true of an act such as the graffiti he carried out after 2 murders. Let's trace a circle around this point, with the distance separating it from Mitre Square as the radius. This will enable us to determine our killer's safe zone.
Get good, lad. I did actually get good.
Our killer must surely live inside this circle. Now, let's intersect it with ellipses that we previously determined. There we are, Watson, the Aldgate district.
Shouldn't we inform the police so that they can concentrate their efforts on this area of Whitechapel?
It is probably already crawling with inspectors, Watson, and I doubt that they would take us seriously, even if they were willing to listen to what we had to say. Let's focus instead on understanding the killer's modus operandi. We know our murderer preys on prostitutes who are penniless, weak, sick, or alcoholic, that he distracts them the moment before killing them, and that he left an anonymous message inciting anti-Semitic hatred at the entrance of a building occupied by Jews. How would you describe this man?
What a coward!
Indeed, he is a person of great cowardice. Let's look at his murders, and in particular, the depredations on the corpses, putting aside that of Liz Stride, because on that occasion his work was left unfinished. If we recall the observations made on the victims and the parts that were mutilated or damaged on each of the bodies, without forgetting the fact that he also removed one or more organs,
No, I didn't finish
we
this.
can ascertain that
I
our
had to
killer
get good.
evolves during the course of the murders, cowardly and still evolving. And yet, look at the location of our first murder, that of Polly Nichols in Bucks Row. It is the most distant from the area our killer would appear to live. Perhaps this murder was preceded by another within the killer's area. I believe a cowardly killer would commit his first murder in an area close to his home in order to find refuge as quickly as possible on carrying out the act.
Holmes, an idea just occurred to me that fills me with dread. This evolution of which you speak.
He will pursue his next victim as long as the conditions permit him to continue killing, Watson.
But how could one go even further in this horror? Look at what he did to that woman, Catherine Eddowes.
In order to avoid having to answer that question, we must act with haste and planning. Watson, I suggest you inform yourself on the mutilations sustained by the victims. We played with the idea that this could be an act of vengeance against prostitutes. If the mutilations correspond to areas affected by a specific pathology, perhaps the killer wanted to give an eye for an affliction he felt the prostitutes he knew were responsible for.
And this trail leading to Dr. Tumblety, Holmes?
I also have a few things to look into in the meantime. I still have a primary witness to track down, not to mention old trails I've yet to pursue. See you soon, Watson. When we first spoke about the Bucks Row murder with Watson, he was reading a newspaper, The Star, dated September 1st, 1888, I believe, which mentioned similar murders in the preceding months. I have no chance of finding the police reports, but perhaps I could find some information at the Central News Agency. I must go there at once. Afterwards, I'll go back to see Abraham, the owner of the pet shop in Whitechapel. The second Joseph's statement would lead me to believe that he may know the man spotted on the corner of Church Passage that night. If that's the case, I must find this witness so I can question him.
Guten Abend, Trish. Oh, Trishy. Oh, Trishy. Oh. Welcome. Now go to the Central News Agency, which is... Go.
Ah, Bulling is there. It won't hurt just this once.
Let's speak to this clown.
Hello, Mr. Bulling. So, did your colleague tell you about the tip?
What tip?
Ah, I see. I gave him an explosive tip and he went without you? Oh, that's not very sporting on his part. No doubt he took all of the credit for his discovery.
You're winding me up, eh?
I must show Bulling something to make him believe me.
need to find the IOU. It's going. I'm going alright. How about yourself? I need to find the IOU. That's the one.
What do you want?
I'm not winding you up. The proof is that he gave me this advance on the debt.
That traitor! He owes me if I find him!
Before I leave, can you do me a favor?
Heck, tell me.
I'm looking for some reliable info on the murders committed in Whitechapel in the months before Polly Nichols' attack.
Reliable? Ha! You really think you'll find that here? Fine. I'll be honest with you. We have folders that group the dispatches from the current year into categories. In the police law category, you'll find the transcripts from the trials and investigations that we sell to the newspapers that ask us.
Perfect.
Sadly, I am out of time. I'll leave you to solve it, eh? You're the detective, aren't you?
The dossiers are full of papers in dated envelopes. I can't open them. That would be too obvious. How can I tell which compartment to look in? No categories are indicated.
Oh, here we go. They know how to make this a challenge, don't they?
An envelope is torn. I can tell that this dispatch contains economic information.
I guess that's one way of doing it. What am I missing?
This compartment was repaired recently. This compartment was repaired recently.
Okay. So we've got to come back to that and figure out which is the right way of pulling all of the titles for each section. Repair the wood of the news in brief. Repair the wood of the news in brief compartment. Okay. Okay. That might be the info, all the info we need.
Closed.
Closed. And that might be it. No, you say we got to put all the stuff in the right section. Oof, okay. It's going to be a pain in the ass to figure this out. Mr. V-Man, seems ages since we chatted properly. It's indeed, I think you're correct. How it works now. Yeah, it is. What it is, they've changed what I have to do, so I have to do more. I have to do extra, essentially. And it's just time. Just time. Okay, so that should be there. There. There.
These envelopes contain
Nice.
dispatches of police and judicial cases. Now, I need to open them discreetly. I must try to unglue the openings.
Go on, you can do it. So I need to open that discreetly, as in, you know, without being seen. Yeah, it came from the, what I have to do more, it came from like the top, so I can't, you know, I have to do it. It sucks, but that's why probably from now on you won't see me on Discord much in the day. Maybe lunch times, if I can. Okay, so what do I need to find a way of...
Water. I need something.
Yeah, you need this, you fool.
There, that will provide me with steam.
No matches. Yeah, I want to use the matches. There we go. No.
Open, and it looks like I'm in luck. This envelope contains
Nice.
precious information.
Oh. What's that to read? Mrs. Mary Russell. Okay. If you look further down, she was attacked. Basically, this testimony is probably what the killer did beforehand, but he didn't manage to kill him. If you understand what that is. So one of her ears was nearly torn off. So I think this was a previous attempt by Jack the Ripper, who he is. So pay rise, nope. Yeah, I'm not getting a pay rise, sucks. Okay, that's another testimony.
The information excludes the murder of the first woman, Miss Smith. Jack the Ripper can't be the author of that crime. On the other hand, there are enough similarities to suggest he may be the killer of Martha Tabram. I must go to the pet shop.
Let's go to the pet shop. Yeah, it is
I
ridiculous.
must go to the pet shop. Closed until further notice. Abraham isn't there. No luck.
Beep beep.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Do you know why Mr. Solomonich's shop is closed?
No, I don't. Perhaps his cousin, the cobbler, knows. But I believe the police came to take his animals. I think that might have something to do with it.
When was this?
During the day. The kids you were with the other day were there, they told me. They just came by to ask for some cat's meat. They didn't have any money, but I gave them some anyway. Ah,
Ah, what's that meant to mean?
Is something wrong?
it's just that there was a little girl with them, the same age as mine. My little girl who went away with her mother.
I agree, X.
With the angels into
It's too
the
late
sky.
to read testimonies. Ugh.
Dr. Watson told me about your loss. Please accept my condolences. Would you like to talk about it? How did it happen?
The illness, sir. My poor little girl was in agony, and her face and body were ravaged by the disease.
Her face?
Yes, she looked like a ghost.
What illness was it?
Dr. Gibbons tried to explain when I took my little girl to see him, but I didn't understand. I'm sure that he was trying to insinuate it was my fault. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I understand. Farewell. Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons.
Dr. Gibbons. I think it's the clinic.
Nothing of interest here.
Nothing of interest here.
Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons.
It's like the end. It's like the 18th century NHS.
Hello, Doctor. Do you remember me? I'm Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson's friend.
Oh, yes. Excuse the mess, but I am doing a bit of tidying.
guy's been in this game an awful lot. Is he the killer? Or is he not? So this guy's been in a lot, probably in...
I have come to see you about a Mr.
Person we
Hardiman,
spoke to
a
the
cat
most.
food seller by trade who recently lost his daughter and wife.
Yes, I know him. A tragic story.
Actually, I was hoping you could tell me about the disease that took his daughter, a disease that would have attacked her face.
Well, to keep it short, we are speaking of syphilis, Mr. Holmes. You must certainly know that it is transmitted through intimate connections, and that the vast prostitute population here contributes to its inevitable progression. It destroys individuals by spreading through the body slowly. The most obvious symptoms can be found in the genitalia and on the face in the form of pustules or lesions. Sometimes this illness can destroy whole families. The father catches it from a prostitute, he transmits it to his wife, who in her turn passes it to the kids which she bears or nurses. These cases are numerous in the vicinity. Certain children, and this is the case of the little girl whom I won't name, suffer from an emaciation of the face which will, apart from predicting an imminent death, bring infamy upon the family.
Emaciation of the face?
Yes, what we sometimes call the pox. I will give you a photograph. One cannot be mistaken on the origin of such a face. The eyes seem to be void of lids, the nose is inexistent as if it was cut off, and the cheeks are chiselled as if cut with a knife. This loss of facial matter, this emaciation, is in this area often the gift from a father to his children.
Can I keep this photograph?
I should destroy it, but if it can remind you that one must sometimes think twice before giving in to physical attraction.
I always seem to find myself alone in such cases. Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Wow. What a picture. Holy crap.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
Oh, talking cobblers, chaps.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
I fast travelled from there to here. What's the point?
Hello, Mr. Solomonovich.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, how are things with you?
I heard your cousin Abraham had a problem with his shop. What happened?
Ah, if I didn't know you well, I would tell you that it's Jewish business that doesn't concern anyone but the Jews. But as you have a little bit to do with it, you have the right to know what is going on.
Ah, would I have something to do with it?
Someone had seen Abraham telling you something and making big gestures near the Imperial Club. A vicious rumor quickly spread, and it has caused him great injustice. A slanderous denunciation attracted the authorities' attention to my cousin's shop. Abraham must be in the process of answering their questions.
I did, indeed, speak with your cousin the other night. I'm shocked at the
Okay then,
consequences
good
of this
night,
discussion.
X-Man.
As I was saying, it's the story of the Jews. In the face of adversity, we are united.
Yeah, what an odd face.
But amongst ourselves, it's like anywhere else. As soon as our people take a dislike to someone, for right or wrong, we can be without pity and quite cruel.
This
Yeah,
is all very
good night,
worrying.
Mr. X.
Your cousin knows one, or
night.
rather two, of the men who were at the Imperial Club on the night of the Mitre Square murder. One of the two, a butcher in Aldgate named Joseph, is probably withholding information of the utmost importance. I must find this man. Perhaps you could help me.
But there are dozens of Jewish butchers around Aldgate, half of which must be called Joseph. And you know, Mr. Holmes, we Jews prefer to remain in the background of this murderer business, this Jack the Ripper thing. All of London is pointing their fingers at us saying, it's a Jew who disemboweled these women. Our community is in great peril, you know. There was the business with Lipsky and Leather Apron. I will see what I can do, but I don't promise anything.
I'd be extremely grateful to you. Very well. We may meet again, Mr. Solomonovich.
You are most welcome, Mr. Holmes.
I've paced up and down Whitechapel enough. I should return to Baker Street in order to reflect on the new facts that I have discovered.
Okay, let's go back to Baker Street map. Da-dum.
Hello, Holmes.
Oh, hello, Holmes.
Good day, Watson.
Oh, good
Listen,
day,
Holmes,
Watson.
I know I should have got here sooner to give you a report on my research, but this case has led me to neglect my patients and my wife more than I care to admit. I've been able to sort things out over the last few days, and now I am ready to pursue this investigation.
You don't have to justify yourself, Watson. Whilst I do tolerate you as an observer, and despite your occasional help with more menial tasks, may I remind you that you are by no means an indispensable part of this case.
Oh, you tolerate me as an observer, do you? Oh, you're too much, Holmes. Well, Mr. Detective, despite my absence, I have been working on this case, putting my relationship on the line in the process. And I happen to have a confidential letter that only passed from one lord's hand to another. What it contains is extremely serious and concerns Dr. Tumblety and his collection of uteri.
Vortex's voice.
Let me see that.
Oh, hello, Sherlock Holmes. Oh, that's elementary, Trisha. Hello, milord. Be hereby accused of my entire collaboration. Blah, 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 blah. Skip.
Excellent. This American could turn out to be of great use to use.
That's right. And that's not all. I did some research and
No,
finally
no,
found an
Trish.
illness that affects the genitalia and can, in certain cases, cause facial symptoms resembling the mutilations seen on the last victim. It is called, would you believe?
Syphilis and the emaciation that can be seen in affected children. I have known that for days, Watson.
Really?
Listen, now you're already
Watson's
here,
a
Watson,
noob.
we may as well continue the investigation. Do you remember the map on which we established the area in which our killer lives? I think we should continue our study.
Trisha. That's elementary, Trisha. I need one of these guys to say Trisha.
We must place the murder of Martha Tabram in George Yard on the map.
Come on, stop talking. Stop jibber jabbing.
Well, I discovered the case of another murder before that of Bucks Row. It happened in George Yard. We shall put it on the map in order to see if it corresponds to our area of research. We must place the murder of Martha Tabram in George Yard on the map. That is where Martha Tabram's murder took place. There's no point going there. I already have all the information we need on that matter.
Oh, I
You see,
can't help
this
that
murder
my
took
name
place
is
in the
Posh.
area in which
Oh,
our killer
yes,
lives,
I'm
his
Posh
safe
Totty.
zone. Nonetheless,
Ha-ha.
there are two major differences between the murder of this Martha Tabram and that of Polly Nichols. Firstly, the blows inflicted are not the same.
And the second difference?
It follows on from a doctor's opinion. He claims two weapons might have been used, and if there is one group of people we absolutely must not trust in this business, it's doctors. Don't you agree, Watson?
Watch it, Holmes.
Tabram's murder took place in an area where the murderer, whose cowardice is clear, was able to make a quick getaway, that is to say, near his home. For his second murder, he would have wanted to go further afield, so the police would not link these two cases. And as for the other murders, seeing the ineffectiveness of his last one, he headed in different directions to kill his victims while still staying in the vicinity and without going any further than necessary, and all the while planning his escape. My dear Watson, we now know what this man looks like, in what area he lives, and that he suffered directly or indirectly from syphilis. Let's not forget the anatomical knowledge he must almost certainly possess. Given his lower-class background, a butcher seems very likely. However, it may be the case that the man was a butcher once, but is no longer. He might also have been a medical assistant. Who knows? That's why we need the testimonies of the other Joseph and Dr. Tumblety in order to be certain.
What shall we do, Holmes?
As the police's cooperation is futile and can be ruled out, we have nothing to do but wait. Watson, wait, and hope we see one of these two men before the killer strikes again.
At last, a long day's work done. How are you doing, Holmes?
Fine, Watson, just fine.
I suppose you still haven't heard any news from Whitechapel.
No, Watson.
It's been almost a month now. Who knows? Our killer may have brought justice upon himself, overcome by remorse and ignominy for his actions.
Not a chance, Watson.
You haven't done anything about the story of a kidney that was sent in the post and reported by the papers. Why not?
The killer left a message on one occasion with the intention of harming. The letter accompanying this package served no purpose other than to give value to its recipient and arouse disgust against its sender. The killer has never done anything for nothing. In order to authenticate the Galston Street message, he left an indisputable piece of evidence. Can we really say as much about this kidney?
I don't know. All I know is that there are letters piling up on your desk. Isn't it time to move on to another case?
Absolutely not, Watson. I think that the other Joseph is reluctant to meet me. The man he saw must certainly have put the fear of God in him, a man well known for his violence and his hatred towards Jews. There can't be any shortage of those in Whitechapel. I have hope yet. As for Dr. Tumblety...
We found him, Mr. Holmes. We found him.
Who's that?
Dr. Bumblebee. He's been locked up by the bobbies, but they've let him loose. Oi, he was looking round like a rat who's scared of his own shadow. He's gonna do a run at years.
Watson, this is our chance. The game is afoot. Let's hope that Tumblety will go to collect his trunk. As for you, my little friends, thank you for lifting this burden that has been on my shoulders for almost a month.
I think, guys, we're not that far from the end. And no worries, Trish. It's all good.
Let's return to the boarding house.
So let's get out to the boarding house, chaps. So it's Whitechapel and here.
He is here. The doctor is here, up in his room. Peeking through my door, I saw him go up the stairs, and I think that he has a pistol.
Regarding the trunk, did you do what I told you to?
Yes, I jammed the lock and filled the trunk with stones. Should we call the police?
Absolutely not. Go home, lock your doors, and if you hear a gunshot, shout as loudly as you can. Watson, we must disarm this man at all costs before attempting to confront him. Come, have your pistol at the ready and stay alert.
Yeah, the animations don't match the voices. It's like they stop talking, but their mouth's still moving. It's like they're all like ventriloquist dolls. Oh god. Yeah, I think, guys, we're near the end.
Don't move a muscle or I shoot.
Who? But what is going on?
Bravo,
What is
Watson.
going
I take back
on?
everything I ever said about your less than full involvement in our investigations.
Listen, Mr. Policeman. I already told everything to your colleagues at the station, so...
Don't you believe it, sir. We're not with the police. We are here to talk about human organs, an area in which you seem to have a great deal of interest.
What? But who are you?
We are the ones holding the pistol. Listen, Tumblety, tell us everything you know and you will be spared from the noose or a bullet. Have you tried to get hold of any female genitalia from someone during these past months?
So that's it. You English. Listen, as it happens, I do have a collection of female genital organs which I hold dear and never miss the chance to show my friends whatever the occasion. If you knew what I feel when my eyes meet the young men's as they contemplate with astonishment and disgust this soft and flabby skin that they worship and place at the center of all their passions. Women repulse me, gentlemen. They are one of nature's greatest mistakes. Lying, haughty, and most of all, nauseating. No, sirs. Men, mankind, we are not made to soil ourselves with such animals, and it is my task to educate my peers, like the ancient Greeks used to do, and put them on the path to masculine relationships, the only kind worthy of our intelligence.
My God, this man has lost his
Hey,
marbles, Holmes.
Undying,
You
welcome.
haven't answered my question. Did you attempt to obtain any female organs?
Indeed, but a long time ago. I was living in Liverpool at the time. A few of my specimens were starting to lose their freshness. But despite the sum proposed, the heads of the university hospitals refused to accede to my demands. The fear of what others would say, certainly. I know nothing more similar to an arrogant fowl than an English doctor. Yakety yak, always
Yakety
showing up in the
yak.
courtyard with their haughty airs. And as soon as...
Shut it, Tumblety. So, was it you who killed all of these women? Yes or no?
I regret to say that it was not. If I had really wanted a few more uteri, I would have had them brought in from the United States, where it would cost me much less than here. Or I would have shown a few gold coins in the hallways of a morgue or a hospital in London, and they would have kissed my feet to sell them to me. And not taken the least risk. But kidneys are all the latest, aren't they? I think that I could find one tomorrow for less than £1.
This game looks
In
familiar.
short, gentlemen,
Yeah, it's one of the
I
older
do not
ones.
know your killer.
2009,
And I don't know why he's doing
2010,
that.
I think.
But if you come across him one day, please send him my friendship and my deepest respect.
You've gone too far this time.
Come, Watson, let's not get
Just
carried
do
away
it,
now.
Watson.
Thank you for your assistance, Doctor. If I may offer some advice, you should leave England as soon as possible. Each day that you remain in this country is a risk that an intelligent man would not take.
My pistol?
Without that, it will be even more risky.
Just elementary Holmes.
Can we believe this man, Holmes?
He can't be the murderer,
I
and his
don't
story
know,
regarding
Undying.
the organs fits.
He hasn't done
but
it.
we can't afford to take the slightest risk.
What's the
I will
glitch?
ask the Baker Street irregulars to follow him. Listen, lads, when Tumblety leaves here, follow him discreetly and come and tell me as early as possible tomorrow where he is currently residing. Understood?
Understood, Captain?
Understood, Captain.
You are already ready, Holmes. What is going on?
I
What
have
is
been
going
waiting
on,
for you for at
Holmes?
least an hour, Watson. It would appear that a new drama has unfolded. The youngsters came to give me this address, but I have some doubt as to the actual location we are going to. Let's try anyway. At worst, we may come across the Baker Street irregulars to put us in the right direction.
We are lost, Holmes.
No, we're not, Watson. We are heading for the very street I'd hoped for, but as I wasn't sure it was this one, I've made a few big detours in order to find the right one. I'll know it when I see the name.
Why, of course, Holmes. Why didn't I think of that? The great Sherlock Holmes can't...
You know what glitch I'm talking about, right? Watson just stands in place and teleports to you after you move. Now, yeah, I haven't seen that. That might be one of the other ones. Going to finish off watching the rest of this Southern one and head to bed afterwards. I'm knackered. Yeah, no, who's SB? I say I'm hoping I'm going to go to bed in like 10-12 minutes. I think we might be able to finish this.
How are you, my friend? Are you not feeling well?
No,
My friend is a doctor. He can take care of you.
don't go there. He came here and he...
Now, Watson, take care of him.
Here we go. Something's happened.
Nothing of interest here.
So something's happened here. Nothing there. Here we go. Holy crap.
God!
My
What happened?
God.
Can't talk. Wait for the coppers. Are they coming? My eyes are crying.
No.
Go find them too, mister. I'll stay here and keep an eye out. Go!
No, I must await my friend. Ah, here he is.
Watson, are you there? How are you?
Fine, Holmes, and you? What happened?
Hello, sir. Where are we, Watson?
In Whitechapel, Holmes. This must be Dorset Street. You don't seem very well. Do you need something?
Indeed, Watson. Some clay, a great big piece of clay. I would ask for some wine, too, but as you know, I taste nothing but melodrama.
Also,
is over
there's the
there?
Weeping
A
Angel
trip from
glitch.
which you will never return,
No,
Watson.
no, must be another
Trust me,
Sherlock.
Don't go there.
A trip? Behind this door? In this room?
It's not strictly a door, it's more of a portal, a threshold, and what lies behind it is not the mortal realm, Watson. It is a place beyond time and space, the gift of a frantic artist who made use of his talent in order to grant us access to his world, Watson. Beyond that threshold is an abyss. Hell.
Oh, thanks for the follow, by the
The
way.
police won't take long to arrive,
Right,
and
thank
the
you very
last thing
much.
I want is to waste precious time
Hey,
on
welcome
them.
back, Trish.
Could you lead me out of this area and take me home? Let's go to Baker Street.
Let's go to Baker Street. Welcome back, Trishka.
You should come and eat, Holmes. Mrs. Hudson has worked wonders. The joint has been cooked medium rare. If only you would tell me what was in the courtyard.
The answer, Watson.
The answer, Holmes?
Yes, the answer to a question that you asked me a few weeks ago.
And how the devil can the answer to a question I asked you be found in that courtyard? And what question are you referring to, Holmes?
How our killer set about reaching the height of horror by taking another victim, Watson.
Watson's so
Did I not tell you that I wanted to avoid melodrama?
Watson was sick
Do you
without
mean to
physically
say-
being sick.
Yes, that's what was in that room. You helped towards the colour. All that's missing is the odour, but I shall let that pass. The mutilations almost all resulted in large removals of flesh. My photographic memory noted them all in great detail, the shape, size and location, and thanks to the softness of this clay and your medical knowledge, I believe we can attempt to determine what is missing from this lady.
Don't you think we should wait for the medical examiner's opinion?
Surely not, Watson. This massacre has gone on long enough. I can assure you that I will do everything in my power to get our hands on Jack the Ripper before this night is out.
Here we go.
Watson, we shall reconstruct the body of this poor woman and inspect it in detail as well. Your help as a medical man will be invaluable.
Holmes, I feel a bit unwell.
Well, I understand. I will manage on my own. Her throat was slit just like the others. The wound is particularly deep.
Okay, so here, so you got to put all these parts in the body, I guess. Okay.
There were incisions in the rib cage, as
Well-
if to inspect the lungs.
Boobs. Left boob, right boobs. So yeah, that's all we gotta do is just basically put it back together. Vortex, if you're not enable people to donate bits, I can't do that until I'm affiliated, I think. Yeah, that's correct. SB's right. I need to have over 50 followers. No, who's the Trishka of London gaffer?
The liver was neatly removed.
Spleen. Uterus. Come on. Oh. Come on, that's it.
An organ is missing, apparently. I must specify which organ this is on my list.
You mean a gaff? Because a gaffer is like a boss, a manager. Somebody's gaff is the house. If that's what you mean.
There we are, Watson. We have examined everything. The heart is the only thing missing. 2 uteri, a kidney, and now a heart. He had all the time he wanted in which to disfigure her, cut her up like a piece of meat, and yet took nothing but the heart. What do you think of that, Watson? Watson?
Watson. Oh, good.
What? Ha.
I dread to think how you'd react if you saw a corpse. I'm returning to Whitechapel, Watson, to Isaac's. If the heart tells you to come with me, if the heart tells you a little wordplay there. Let's go to the cobbler's.
Oh, let's go to the cobbler's.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
Talking cobblers.
Beep, beep.
Yeah,
Evening, Mr. Holmes.
she's the one who's from London. Oh, I love from the south.
Good evening, Hardyman. Has Abraham Solomonovich still not reopened his shop?
No, not that I know of.
Governor.
Have you heard anything about the latest murder?
Certainly there is talk of nothing else. Poor girl. I hope they catch the bastard who did it.
Who do you think that could be?
A madman, that's for sure. Everyone in the area is pinning it on a Jew. But I don't believe that for a second.
Why?
Because Jews don't like blood, you see. They're not allowed to eat it, and they have to drain the meat before cooking it. It's true that they eat animals, but they are fanatical about all kinds of silly things. I don't know much about their rituals and all, but I know that a Jewish butcher can't just do whatever he pleases with his knife. He has strict kosher rules to follow.
You seem to be very well informed.
Well, I buy my meat from them too. My clients don't care whether the meat comes from Jews or not. Cats eat it regardless. And let me tell you, I'd go as far as to say that I may even have more faith in a Jew, because even if they don't eat all the offals, a Jew inspects them to see if the animal was in good health. Lungs, for the most part, and as they make up most of my cat's meat, you can see the connection, right?
Good evening, Hardyman. Who do you... Why? You see... Jews are allowed to eat offals?
Oh, yes. They eat calves' kidneys, I think.
How big is that? A calf's kidney?
Ah, well, that depends if it's fresh or if it's been marinated in brine or cooked.
When fresh, are they as big as a human kidney?
They would be, yes.
You know, Mr. Hardyman, it's lucky for
It's
both
Nang,
of us that
mate,
the murder
Nang.
that took place in your mother's courtyard was only the Whitechapel killer's third. Had it been the first, I wouldn't be thanking you
Game
as
of
I do
Thrones.
now for all of this
Go on,
important
SB, get
information.
good.
Goodbye and take care.
If you say so. Right, farewell, Mr. Holmes.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
I'm already at the cobblers. I've seen the first season of Game of Thrones, so I watched the first 10 episodes, but I couldn't really get into it.
Good evening, Mr. Solomonovich.
Evening, Mr. Holmes. If you've come about the business of my cousin, I hate to say...
Before you respond to my request, I must ask you to answer this question of the utmost importance. What offals are Jews allowed to eat?
Well, the same as you.
Kidney, heart, liver?
Yes.
How are they prepared?
Kidneys are boiled, heart is often finely sliced and cooked on a skewer, and liver is always grilled.
These offals, do they come from cattle?
Yes, beef or veal.
And eating non-kosher food would be a grave affair for a Jew, isn't that right?
Yes, it would be very serious. But what are you getting at?
You seen that roadman, fam? He's bare nank. That's just so much slunk.
If I were to tell you what I'm thinking, Mr. Solomonovich, you would pull out your own eardrums to not hear the end of my sentence. It goes against the beliefs of hundreds of members of your community, and for some, perhaps even worse. I will ask you one last time before involving the authorities, who I assure
Yeah,
you
Sean
will be
Bean,
far less
SB.
discreet than myself.
First
Do you
season.
know who the second Joseph is, the Aldgate butcher, who your cousin knows from the Imperial Club?
His name is Joseph Chaim Levy, but I don't know where he lives. I know nothing about him, other than he's a member of the Imperial Club on Duke Street.
That street is after Church Passage, coming from Mitre Square. Am I right?
That's it.
Thank you. You have been an enormous help to both of us. Now, listen carefully. I need you to find 4 or 5 strong men among the members of your family who you trust wholeheartedly, and to wait here with them until my arrival, or you receive a message from me. Is that clear?
But if you will tell me...
Later, Mr. Solomonovich. Later. Let's go to the Imperial Club. Ah, there's the Imperial Club. Let's see if I can find Joseph Chaim Levy.
That's it, guys. I'm out, unfortunately. I'm out of time. So save. Yeah, guys, unfortunately I'm out. I was hoping to finish this game today, but there's probably maybe an hour's worth of stuff to do. But we are so close to the end. We're so close. Okay, Trish, you'd have to send me in DM. Is he Yorkshireman? Yeah, Sean Bean, I think he's Manchester. Yep, catch you later. Bye.